What's up, YouTube? I'm here with another video. I apologize for the delay. It's been kind of a long time. I recently moved and I've been kind of looking for a different job, and amongst other things, I just haven't really had any time to upload anything or really share anything with you guys that's worthwhile. But today I actually got something new that I want to share with you. It's a new pocket knife, and for those of you that don't know, I'm not like a knife aficionado, but I enjoy everyday carry, and one of the things that I like to carry is a pocket knife. And what I've actually been carrying for about 2 years now is my Cold Steel Recon 1. And for those of you that don't know, this is actually, it's actually a really nice knife. I think you can probably get one now for about $70 or $80 on Amazon if you were to look. It's definitely served its purpose. I've got a couple things about it that I don't really like, but I guess they're more just preference and not really anything that's a defect in the way that the knife works or operates. The first thing is I don't like how, well, I like how big it is, but I don't like how big it is for an everyday carry knife and how aggressive it is. I find most of my use with a blade every day is done, cutting boxes open, or I guess occasionally like a piece of steak or something like that. But while I'm at work, pulling a knife out like this to cut open a box, I don't know. I mean, with the Tonto edge and all that, it's more of like I kind of look at this as like a self-defense combat blade than I do like an everyday carry blade. You can definitely carry it every day and it'll work, but it's kind of got more of an like aggressive look to it. And with the Tonto wedge and the serrations on it, you could really screw something up if you stabbed it with this thing, which is not always a bad thing, I guess, depending on the situation. But it's definitely served its purpose. If you're looking for a I guess a more aggressive blade that can really cut the hell out of things, this is actually a really good choice. It's Japanese Osage steel, so it'll come very sharp. You can actually shave with it. But the downside to the Osage steel, which is actually only other things I don't like about it, is because it's a softer metal, it's more susceptible. It'll dull quicker. But on the flip side of that, because it is a softer metal, it's easier to bring the edge back. And that's not something, the blade is clearly, it's an Osage steel blade. So, and Osage steel is used, in some other products as well. So it's not like it's a defect at all in any way. It's just the kind of metal that they use. So I wouldn't really consider that being any kind of a defect or any kind of flaw. You buy it and it's an Osage steel blade. So, and one thing that I did read about these that people didn't really like was there was not really any jimping here, which is, I guess, more of it's basically just extra grip. There's something, I don't know if you can really see it there. You can kind of see some grooves, but that doesn't really do much for you. Now, I just wanted to address that really quickly. That doesn't really matter so much on a blade like this, to me anyway, because this little groove is actually pretty aggressive. And what that actually does is when you're holding the blade, it keeps your lower fingers here, the lower part of your fingers, in place. So if you've got your thumb up here, and say you were to stab something, yeah, your finger on top might ride a little bit, but it's better riding up here than riding down here, because if you ride down here, you can cut all your fingers up. So I've also found that this kind of helps keep your finger in place. By the way, this is actually a very comfortable knife to hold. It's very comfortable. It fits the hand really well, which is one thing I love about it. So it does give you a good grip if you needed to slice something pretty hard. But I would definitely recommend this. Look into this for a first-time blade, or even something to add to your collection. It's definitely served me well. You can move the clip on either this side or around the back here. But I love it. It's done a really good job. It's not by any means like a really high-end blade, but it will serve its purpose. As you can see, it's been through kind of a lot. I've cut a bunch of stuff with this. I think at one point I even was cutting Cat 5 cabling, which has got copper in it. So, it'll cut it. It's probably not very good for the blade, but I mean, it will cut through it if you have to. But this has served me well for 2 years. So this is actually what I used to carry. So I highly recommend you check this out if you're looking for a new blade. But what I actually did receive in the mail today was my new one, which is a Spyderco Paramilitary 2-blade. I've done a lot of research on this, and I actually was not a big fan of Spyderco blades. And then my buddy actually, I think he kind of unintentionally converted me over. I just wasn't a fan of the way that the blades were shaped, as if it really matters. You know, I guess it's just you get a knife for a specific application, and it's why you buy them. So this is the box that it comes in. I think this is pretty standard amongst a lot of their other knives. I mean, maybe the lower end blades that they carry might come in a slightly different box. But opening the box up, this is pretty much what you get. You get your blade inside. You get some reading literature from Spyderco, and you got some padding under here. Looking at the reading literature, this is actually pretty interesting. It tells you a little bit about the blade, why they chose to design it the way that they did, and it's called Education, so it just tells you a little bit about it. This is actually S30V, which is I would probably argue it's a slightly better metal than some of the other ones out there. It's just a really good metal. It keeps its shape really well. But you can look into that. You can Wikipedia different metal types and research for yourself. But this is actually what the blade looks like. The reason why I chose this for my second blade is, first of all, it's, again, like I was saying, it doesn't look so aggressive. It's more of like a precision cutting knife than anything, and for what I use it for, I think it'll work pretty well. The second reason is, I mean, it feels really good in the hand. It grips really well, and you can grip right here, or there's actually a groove right here that you can move up if you wanted to, though I don't think I would ever do that. I don't know, I just don't think I'd ever need to go up that far for anything. Plus, I don't like riding really close to the edge, and this is actually very sharp, so that would probably slice you up pretty good if you slipped on accident. But it does have a G10 handle, and for those of you that don't know, G10 is a kind of a material that manufacturers will use on their blades. It's a very grippy material, and I feel like this isn't as grippy as it used to be, but this has like been years of use. When I first got this thing, though, it gripped like really, really, really hard. So that's really cool about it. This one, I feel like it kind of reminds me of like if you were to have carbon fiber but not put any like clear coat over it to smooth it out. There's little cuts in it. I don't know how to explain it. It's G10. I mean, you can look it up and research it for yourself, but it's a very popular material. So I love that. So it's like the black on black, just like my previous blade. I haven't really used this yet. I just got this today, like I said earlier. So I'm not really sure how it'll hold up to the test of time. But from what I've read and been able to find out and research, I think it'll probably last me the same, if not longer, under the uses that under the circumstances that I'm under on a day-to-day basis. So originally I was not a fan of this style blade, but I've actually come to like it a lot, and I really like this hole here. I feel like it makes it a lot easier to open the blade up, a lot easier than some of the nubs that you get, as you can see right there. What's actually cool about this is if you hold it the right way, you can actually swing it open. I haven't been able to do that with this, but I prefer to just open it regularly, and having this cutout really does make it easier. So I like that a lot. So I'm pretty happy about that. But yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to using this. The clip can be, you can move it around, I think, on either up here, down here, and then I'm assuming on the back, whichever way you want to. There's a lot of jimping here. You can probably see that. And then towards the bottom as well, you've got some. So it's definitely a lot grippier towards the top, more so than my cold steel, which is actually a good thing because, like I said, the edge that they've got on this blade isn't so aggressive. So I guess if it came down to it, your bottom fingers probably wouldn't stay as in the same spot as much as they would on the cold steel. So it's good that they've got this extra support here. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. It's got a DLC coating on the blade, which is really good. It's really durable from what I've read. And I love the markings on it too. I don't know if you can see, but it looks kind of like Greek markings. I don't know what they are, but really cool. It says Golden, Colorado, USA, Earth. So it's made in the USA, 100%. At least that's what the representative told me when I spoke with him on the phone. They said it's made in their Colorado factory. Now, Cold Steel actually does have some blades that are pretty similar to this. One of them is the Tenacious. I think that blade runs, I want to say maybe like $40, and it's actually pretty similar to this. So, and I actually know somebody that's got one, and from what I can tell, it works pretty well. So, if you're looking for a cheap knife, that would probably also be a good choice. But I know that one is made in China, so I don't know if that means much. My Recon 1 was actually made in Taiwan, but it's held up pretty well. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. It's held up pretty well though. So if any of you guys are looking for a first blade to get, this one's actually retails at around $200. I actually got it for about $130, so it was on sale at Blade HQ. So I think I got a pretty good deal on that. This one I believe you could probably get for around like $80 or $70. So if you're looking for a new blade, I would highly recommend either of these two. I would probably recommend this one over this one if every day, if you're around people and you need to use a blade, depending, I guess, on what kind of people they are. If they're customers, then I think that this would probably be a good choice to carry every day. It's really good for, obviously, cutting more of like a precision style, whereas this is a little bit more aggressive. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to be making more as, I guess, time goes on. Hopefully I've got something else for you. It just kind of depends on, what I get and if I've got anything that's worthwhile, worth sharing to you guys. But I'd appreciate it if you'd like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, and if you haven't subscribed already, hit that button. Thanks.